Welcome to Sew You! This is part 2 of a 3-part tutorial on how to make a Christmas cushion cover. Part 2 is all about how to sew in a zipper. Let's get started! Take the 2 pieces of fabric with the picks in them. To stabilize the edging where your zipper will be sewn in, I recommend applying a piece of fusible interfacing. Use a soft and lightweight one. Make it 1.8 centimeters wide and a few centimeters longer than your zipper length. You will need 2 stripes. Place them next to the edging on the left side of your fabric. Follow the manufacturer's instructions on how to apply it. Overlock the 2 pieces completely. Make sure to check if your stitch looks alright after a few centimeters. To overlock corners, sew almost to the end of the fabric. Put your needle on the highest position, lift the presser foot, turn your fabric, and position it correctly beneath the needle. Let the presser foot down and overlock the next edge. Leave 10 cm long threads at the end to secure them afterwards. To disentangle the threads, pull out the needle thread close to the end of the fabric. The needle thread is the one that you put through your needle on your overlock machine. All of your threads are now disentangled. Thread the threads on a needle. Make a few back stitches to secure them and then cut them off. The overlock stitches can't open anymore. If you don't care what the inside of your cushion cover looks like, you can also just leave the threads as they are. As long as they're long enough, they will not open anymore. Pin the 2 pieces of fabric together where the zipper will go in. Nice side on the nice side. Set the stitch length to a normal 2.5 and position the needle 1 cm away from the right edge of the presser foot. That is my favorite way to stitch seams, with a 1 cm seam allowance. You can also leave the needle in the middle position and work with the lines on your sewing machine. Sew from the edge of the fabric exactly to the picks that you made. This should be a very short distance. Do the same from the other edge of the fabric to the pick. Always sew backwards and forwards again to secure the threads. Then cut them off. Thread your machine with a different color and set the stitch length to the highest number. Now sew the part between the picks without securing the threads. These stitches serve as a fast alternative to basting everything by hand and will be taken out again later. Iron the seam allowances apart. Put the fabric on the table and pull the threads of the long stitches to the side. Now you can see where your zipper starts and ends. Put the beginning of the slider exactly beneath the threads and in the middle of the seam. Put in a pin on the left and on the right side of the slider. Lift the remaining part of the zipper, go on eye level with the fabric, and slowly roll down the zipper on the fabric and make sure the chain lies exactly on the seam. Pin it in place. Do the same technique with the rest of the zipper until the whole zipper is pinned in place in the middle of the seam. Leave the longest stitch on your machine, but replace the presser foot with a zipper foot. Sew one side of the zipper tape. When you pass the slider, you might have to position the needle differently for your zipper foot to be able to pass. Sew the other side of the tape in the exact same way and also starting from the slider. Do not secure the threads. These stitches will also be taken out again later, so don't worry if they're not completely straight. When you have sewn the zipper in, turn the fabric around and check if the chain really still is on your seam. To do this, feel where the chain is with your thumbnails and slide down along the zipper. You can now see if the seam remains between your nails. If it slid away while sewing, mark where it happened with pins. Open the threads on that part. Pin the zipper in place and sew the part again. Check if the chain is now in the middle. Repeat this process until you are happy with the position of your zipper. Open the base stitches of the seam to make a 5 cm gap where the slider is. You can now move your slider down. Thread your machine with the right colored thread and set the stitch length back to 2.5. Start sewing from the edge of the fabric with a distance of about 5 mm from the seam and secure the stitches. Sew the whole way down with the same distance. When you reach the slider, lower your needle and lift the foot. Move the slider past the foot out of your way. Lower the foot and keep on sewing. Secure the stitches at the end. Sew the other side of the zipper the same way, but add some stitches across at the end and the beginning of the zipper to secure the fabric there. To do this, lower the needle when it is in a 90-degree angle from the zipper starting point. Lift the foot and move the fabric 90 degrees. Lower the foot. Sew a few stitches until you reach the other stitches. Sew backwards to your starting point. Lower the needle, lift the foot and turn the fabric. Lower the foot and keep on sewing. Do the same at the end point of the zipper. Then sew until you reach the other edge of the fabric. Secure the stitches and cut off the loose threads. Now you are almost finished. Remove all of the basting threads carefully with the stitch ripper. Be sure not to harm the fabric. Now you see why you used the longest stitch. It makes it much easier to take out all of those threads. When you are done, you can open the zipper and see that you successfully sewed it in. Congratulations! Check out part 3 to find out how to finish the Christmas cushion cover.